Greetings everyone, Eric here and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at some pens from whoever this brand is. Pentel art pen thingies. Let's go. Okay, so I haven't even opened these things yet. I literally got them a few days ago and I didn't even want to open them. I didn't want to try them out because I wanted to do that all on camera. Also, apologies for the sounds of the world outside. I have the window open, so you're going to be hearing loud birds. But anyway, we're going to be opening these up, checking how the quality is, and I'm just going to do a drawing with these things. So let's start off by peeling these open. Oh, wow. That's actually a nice, easy peel open. So yeah, this is a set I found online that I was just very curious about because I love finding new pens. They're pretty affordable. I don't remember the price exactly, but I remember them being pretty cheap. It is a full pack, so it has 5 pens. It goes from 0.05 millimeters all the way up to 0.8 millimeters. So pretty comparable to any other brand that you could think of. And here are the pens. Wow, they're actually pretty small, like physically. They got a nice kind of roundness to them. The heads here, like the actual caps, aren't as super crazy big as some other brands get. But yeah, so far I like the quality. They're nice and smooth. So far the pen feels good. Oh, wow. Not the tightest grip, so those will come off fairly easily, which isn't really a bad thing. Some of my other cheaper markers that I've gotten were way too easy to open. But as you can see there, this is the 0.3, which is my favorite one to use on most products I use. And as you can see there, you can actually you can actually see what the tip looks like. So this is the one I mainly use when I'm doing my drawings. And then I think this is a 0.8, so you can kind of see the difference when you're looking at the 0.8 compared to, so right there you can really kind of tell the difference between the two, that the 8 is much thicker than the 3. So very, very interesting so far. But that's all just visual stuff, obviously. So the thing that really matters is how do they feel to use? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw something. I'm not actually sure what I'm going to draw yet. So I'm just going to get a piece of clean sheet of paper and I'm just going to sketch something. And I'm probably going to do a lot of time lapse of me drawing, and then I'll come back at the end and give you my thoughts on these pens to kind of give you an idea of how I like them. But then, and while I'm giving you my thoughts, I'll just kind of take each one and draw a line, because I normally don't use things like these two, the 1 and the 05. Just not my thing. I don't like using super small pens like that. But I'll still show you kind of what they feel like. So let's just get a piece of paper and see what we're gonna draw. Okay, and we are back from our time lapse. Here's our finished drawing. I didn't go super overboard with a lot of the detail, but I did a little bit more than I usually would do in some drawings. I even did a little bit on the eyes, some shading here and there, just to try out the pens. I didn't end up using all the pens, but they pretty much all seem to feel about the same. So yeah, I used the 1, I used the 3, predominantly, and then I did try out the 5. I do realize that with these pens, because the ink seems to flow a little bit differently depending on the pen. On these two, the flow was pretty quick actually, which is something I was liking, because it's very similar to my Stettler pens, which I really like. When the ink comes out a little bit quicker, you can do kind of faster lines. The downside is you might have noticed sometimes, depending on where you're stopping and starting, you might get a little bit of an interesting effect where you'll get a little bit of like a dot there, here and there, because you held the pencil down for too long or held the pen down for too long. So trying to be consistent with your lines is very important. But these pens really are really good. The ink looks phenomenal. It handled being erased really easily. I used obviously my kneaded eraser, but it seems to handle it pretty well. Now it's had a lot of time to dry, which is good. You should always let your ink dry really well before you touch up things. The 0.5 was giving me some issues, or the 0.05 was giving me issues, but I think that was just because I was trying to go really quickly, and it's a very small tip on the 0.5 or 0.05, so you got to take your time with that one. You can't quite go as super fast right off the bat, which is fine. It's a very small tip, so it allows you to get into like little small crevices and stuff. The 0.5 and the 0.8 I didn't really mess with yet, but they look pretty good. If I find just kind of a random spot here, let's just do kind of here right where his thigh is. Oh yeah, no, that feels great. Yeah, no, that feels fine. That actually comes out really nicely, just like the other ones. Yeah, these so far remind me very much of my Stettler pens. This is the Point. Whoa, that is a chunky boy. That one I would be very careful with. Oh yeah, no, ink flow is really good on those. That would be good for doing panel borders and stuff. And then this I could probably use for doing background stuff. But like the range they give you is really nice. Now the one thing I wanted to do, and you'll probably notice this black bag over here, as well as these little guys, is I want to see how well they handle alcohol-based markers. Now this paper is not quite the normal type of paper you would use for coloring this way, but I figure it's a decently heavier duty paper than like printer paper, so it should handle it really well. But I just want to see if these smear at all. And what I could do is I could do like a little thing over here and then draw over them. But I want to do the main drawing because this has had time to dry, which before you color anything, you should always let it dry really well. That is definitely something I would highly recommend. These are something I actually meant to do a review on, but I never got around to it. These are Studio, whatever the heck that's supposed to be. Studio 71 maybe? It's a marker set, and it is literally just skin tones. Not a huge range of skin tones, like the darkest color it has is the mocha, but it's got about a decent range for most skin tones. The only problem is because they only have the mocha, you really got to blend another color to really get a kind of a shadows for the darker color, which isn't really a problem. I will just use the light peach, if I can get it to frack out. And the reason I like these pens is they actually have they have a chisel tip, as you would expect, but they also have an actual brush tip, and this is a flexible one, kind of like how Copics are. So really enjoy these. They're very good. Does that actually stay? Yeah, not really. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over his face a little bit with this marker and see if any of the like nose bits or the mouth and all smear at all. So I'm not good with coloring, so don't expect anything amazing, but I will go through and color this. So like I already messed up by going a little bit into his eye, which I didn't mean to. So let's just kind of do that. It doesn't seem to be pulling up at all or bleeding weirdly. So far that seems to be working really well. That's always something you got to worry about with pens, is how well do they handle other medium. So in this case, obviously, we're talking about markers, alcohol-based markers. And I don't know how these would handle watercolor. I literally don't have any type of watercolor material in my house. I do know they make some nice watercolor pen brush kind of things, so that's always something that I could try out, and I'm just going to go over that a little bit more just to really dig into that. That's obviously going to look a little bad, and I don't have a colorless blender, so it's not like I can correct some of that, but yeah, it's not picking it up at all, so that's actually really nice. So let's go over his rest of his body, and I'm just going to be very loose with this and just kind of smear it on without too much worry. I'm not trying to be perfect here because I want it to go over the lines a little bit. And I did just see a little bit of a thing right there, but I think that was beforehand. I think that was before I even did any of this marker stuff, so I think that was not the marker's fault. I think I did that when I was inking earlier. But yeah, that seems to hold up really well. Man, I made his chin so dark there because I went over it too many times. Yeah, I'm not getting any real smearing, but one of the things I want to try out is some of these cheaper, some of these cheaper touch pens, because some of these are much harsher, like chisel tip kind of things. So I figure with these, it might dig in a little bit more, and so that might actually help it grab the ink and it might pull it away. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do maybe his hair. So let's pick a color for his hair. Let's try out this rose brown, whatever the heck this is. I don't think I've ever tried this. So yeah, let's just do... Oh yeah, this makes that scritchy noise that we all love so much. Oh, listen to that lovely sound. Gotta love cheap markers. But yeah, I'm going over some of these really thin lines, and okay, let's just use the chisel tip and just go crazy. Oh yeah, listen to that sound. That's a sound everybody really loves. And I mean, I'm digging in there. I'm not holding back. I am going over these thin, very thin lines, and even some of these thicker lines like this one, without thinking too much. And I actually let a lot of ink out there for a second there. Yeah, so far it seems to be handling it without much fuss. Granted, in fairness, I am not a colorist when it comes to traditional medium. I am absolutely rubbish at this stuff, so I'm sure if I watched a video on how to color using markers, there's probably all kinds of techniques you can do and better ways of doing this kind of stuff. But yeah, no, it seems to be handling that really well. But the pens themselves didn't smear at all, which is what's important. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with these pens. I probably will use these from now on for a little while. I mean, I got them, so I might as well use them. So yeah, some of the next few drawing videos, then I guess you might start seeing these things showing up. So if you would like to try these yourself, I will of course leave a link in the description below for you to check them out. While you're down there, if you have any products you think I should check out, other types of pens from other kind of from other companies and stuff like that, of course, leave them in the comment section. While you're down there, make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it, of course. Subscribe if you would like to see more of my content. In the description, you will also see plenty of links for many other things to help support me in different ways. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Later, everybody.